Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
You are watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Good evening, everyone. You're watching 7 minutes of nonstop news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I'm Carrie Roper. Thank you so much for watching 7 at 7 p.m. for Tuesday, February 2nd. Let's get to your top story tonight, sponsored by Carnegie Heights. A woman is accused of stabbing a man in the neck during a domestic dispute on the Strip. Police say a man and a woman were arguing late Monday night in the area of the Grand Bazaar shops at Bally's, Las Vegas, when the man assaulted the woman. According to police, the couple then went to the Bally's valet area where the woman stabbed the man in the neck. The man was taken to a nearby hospital and is expected to survive while the woman was taken into custody. A new federal mask mandate went into effect across the country Monday night, but local transport agencies are saying that doesn't change much in terms of enforcement. Our reporter James Schaefer has more on the changes you need to know about.
On Friday night, the CDC issued an order requiring face masks on nearly all forms of public transportation. This coming after President Biden's called for immediate action. The requirement for a mask mandate pertains to airplanes, buses, ride-hailing companies, taxicabs, and transportation hubs. A Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada spokesperson said that those kinds of mandates have been in place since Sisolak's order this past summer, saying, "The federal mandate does not change our existing enforcement policy and processes requiring our passengers, staff, and contractors to wear face coverings aboard our vehicles and when on RTC property." One additional change is that the federal order lowered the age for requirements for a face mask from age 9 and younger to age 2 and younger.
In more news, a Las Vegas man has been arrested for impersonating an officer after attempting to pull over a police officer who was driving an unmarked vehicle at the time. Pedro Franco allegedly had red and blue lights attached to the front of his SUV and tried to stop multiple vehicles in January, though he reportedly just drove past the drivers after they pulled over. Franco was booked on gross misdemeanor charges of impersonating a public official and attempted impersonation of a police officer and has a status hearing set for March 24th. Now it's time for your weather, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The National Weather Service has issued a wind advisory for the valley and the surrounding areas. It's expected to remain in effect until tomorrow evening, so drivers are encouraged to use caution in these gusty conditions, especially if driving high-profile vehicles or motorcycles. Otherwise, the weather is beautiful with clear skies and warm temperatures in the high 60s. Later this week, highs will stop at the low to mid 60s, but expect lots of sunshine for the remainder of the week into the weekend.
Sports, sponsored by Scenic Brewing Company. Cassie Soto here with this sports update. Raiders fans should have February 4th circled on their calendar. That's when ESPN will air its newest 30 for 30, Al Davis versus the NFL. Raiders beat writer Sam Gordon got a sneak peek of the documentary and has more.
Learn all about the legendary feud between former Raiders owner Al Davis and former NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle. I think the documentary does a great job of touching on what made each man so unique, and it really digs in at its core to the beef that they had that centered around Al Davis's desire to have the Raiders play in a first-class stadium. And though they butted heads and there were lawsuits and all these things, at the end of the day, I think they realized that they had more in common than they thought, and that was a vision for a bigger, better NFL. The documentary digs into all the nitty-gritty and uses really cool deep fake technology to bring both these men back to life and tell the story from a modern perspective.
Now here's your sports betting update. One of the most popular Super Bowl prop bets involves which player will score the first touchdown in Sunday's game. At Circa Sports, Chiefs receiver Tyreek Hill is the favorite at plus 575, followed by Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce at plus 675. Sportsbooks will be rooting against Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, who scored the first touchdown in last year's Super Bowl at odds as high as 22-1 in a blowout to bookmakers. Mahomes is plus 1650 this year at Circa.
In your health news, Nevada reported 8 additional coronavirus-related deaths Monday, concluding the state's deadliest month of the pandemic. Renee Samarara has more. Renee?
Carrie, the new fatalities which occurred on the final day of January brought the statewide death toll for the month to 1,132. But there's a bit of light at the end of the tunnel for Nevada. Even though that's more than a quarter of the coronavirus-related deaths reported in Nevada since the beginning of the pandemic, these numbers don't reflect recent deaths. RJ reporter Blake Apgar explains why this is happening despite case numbers trending down.
What we saw through January was people who were infected between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we are still expecting to see some of those deaths recorded for the next couple of weeks. But the good news is, if there's any good news in all of this, is that because other disease indicators were trending down through January, we can expect to see deaths also start trending down in February.
For a breakdown of the numbers in this story, log on to lvrj.com. Carrie?
In your business news, sponsored by the Vegas Chamber, there were some signs of a recovery in Macau's gaming industry. Officials there reported Monday that January gross gaming revenue increased 2.6% from December to $1 billion. That was the highest total since the Chinese enclave's 41 casinos were shut down in February of last year in order to slow the spread of the coronavirus. A union gaming analyst said that the worst is behind Macau, but travel in the region will remain moderate over the coming months. In your lifestyle news, sponsored by Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Fremont Street Experience is hiring. The downtown Las Vegas entertainment complex is looking to bring on full-time employees for several positions, including security dispatcher, retail associate, and Slotzilla ride operator. Those interested can apply and submit an application online at vegasexperience.com/about-US-jobs. Today is Groundhog Day, and in Southern Nevada, that means the start of Mojave Max Watch. Max is a desert tortoise that lives at the Springs Preserve, and Clark County students in kindergarten through 5th grade can guess when he will wake up from his winter nap for a chance to win a laptop computer and other prizes. To enter, all you have to do is log on to MojaveMax.com. Last year, Mojave Max made his first appearance of the spring on April 1st. In your entertainment news, Noriyuki Pat Morita was best known for his work in Happy Days and Karate Kid before his death in Las Vegas in 2005. 15 years later, his life is remembered in a new documentary called More Than Miyagi, the Pat Morita Story, produced by his wife, Evelyn Guerra Morita. The movie will be released this Friday and will be based on his unfinished memoirs covering the complexities of his amazing life. That's all for today's 7 at 7 p.m. from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I'm Carrie Roper. Thanks for joining us. And remember, get every bit of local news you need in 7 minutes with 7 at 7 from lvrj.com. You can also find us on Roku, Facebook, and so much more. And we hope you'll join us again tomorrow morning for 7 at 7 a.m. Have a great night.
Review-Journal Studio, sponsored by attorney Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update is sponsored by Pro Group Management. You are watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.